had, you know, experienced in a church. You know, the church was my house for a lot of it. You know, I played as a kid, and drum sets and guitars and whatever I wanted to do, I could do in church. Because my dad was a pastor, and I don't remember not being in church, except for the times that I chose to not go, and which was, you know, pretty much like a 10-year or more period. So probably about 10 years actually. The world is so challenging, and I work in an industry like most people that it's not accepted at all. You know, it's just Christians are the crazies, you know, and you don't want to be a part of that group. You know, I just had this curious spirit that like I had to search and turn over every stone and look at things, and whether it be good or bad, you know. I mean, I felt like I had to try everything once, and that was a mistake. I found my way back to church. I Googled a church. I just Googled the word church, I think, and found NorthPark on the old Google Maps, and I thought it's kind of like a gym. If it's close, you'll go. So I think those two things should be, you know, within your 5-mile radius, and so I just started going, and so I went to you know, the men's retreat, and you know, it's kind of the last. They circle up at the end of the retreat, and you know, have a final meeting and prayer and stuff. And they asked if anybody wanted to come forward, and so I did. And it was like, you know, kind of the way that I looked at it is, it wasn't so much of I need to say the sinner's prayer, but I was like, I had a difficult time, and you know, even, and probably something that still troubles me in certain ways, like that, you know, just declaring my faith and who I believe in to you know, specifically to outsiders that aren't familiar with the faith. And the world is so challenging, and you know, Christ is the greatest truth that I'm aware of. You know, I can't find, and I've searched for anything and everything that was different, and I still come back to Him. I still, you know, kind of come back to that home, you know. So hey, one thing I was going to ask you about this, if there's any way that you can do it, if you can just tell a little bit of Semesi's story, just briefly. It doesn't have to be, I don't know exactly how to do it, but if there was a way just to interject that, it would be great. So I just don't want it to, I want the voice to be heard, you know. I want people to know who he is, and that, I don't know, he's a kid that just wanted to live a life. So I just want, I don't want it to go nowhere, you know. I don't want it to people not to know about it, so it's too important. And this kid he has a tumor. He's Fijian. He's 20 years old, and I decided to the only way that I could really help in this situation, because I couldn't give financially what my mother-in-law was asking, to make some sort of little film about him, to share his story, to get people to care about him, and enough to want to give money and get a substantial amount of money to overcome these bills. Very first day of filming, I was very successful in the sense of I got all my little, you know, I have little boxes and I check boxes off and stuff, and so I, you know, had all the elements I needed, and I was like, cool, episode 1 done, and very enthusiastic. And then it just completely took a turn, and was very unsuccessful in shooting my second episode that I was going to post about him, in the sense of literally within 20 minutes of filming, he had a seizure, and it was a huge seizure. It was, he actually had 8 in succession, and so he was down on the ground for like 5 minutes, and this happened all in the hospital, and the hospital was not excited about the filming after that, because it was just real moments, and their cameras, you know, they don't, usually hospitals operate and they don't have anybody watching, and there was somebody watching this, and it wasn't in their mind ideal for them, and so I had all these plans of cameras and showing him going through the process and getting diagnosed, and just laying it all out and making this a very real event. And I have nothing. I have none of that. I have the first 2 days of filming, and I have a gentleman having a seizure, and that's it. I choose until Semesi's life is no longer on this earth that God's going to heal him in some way. And it may not be a way that I see as tangible. Maybe it's just simply he has a tumor, but he has no more seizures, and so I think the most important thing is our heart and our belief that our God is awesome and powerful, and he works in very, very mysterious ways that our small minds will never imagine. The idea of service came out of and this is just being truthful. I think that I felt that I owed God something, or if I could, do something more or whatever, that would bring me closer to him, or I was doing him not really a favor, but I had to repay his love and grace on some level, and that's absolutely not the case at all. It's just now everything that we kind of do are connections to Christ to go deeper, and that's my only desire, is to draw closer to him. James chapter 1 verse 5. But if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives all men generously and without reproach. It will be given to him. I'm John Nelson, and that's my story. What's your story?